Hi, I was talking to a guy on his OT levels yesterday, and you know, I mentioned stuff about taxes. But anyways, he said that he had heard that the IRS was denying Scientology religious donations. Now, that's completely untrue as far as a rumor goes. I mean, as far as I know, the IRS, the Church of Scientology is still a 501c, and so any money they get in it's not going to be taxed. And as a parishioner, when you donate to any religious organization, including the church, then as long as they have a 501c and you're not getting anything back for that donation, then that is a legitimate charitable donation. For example, if you buy a block of auditing or courses or a book, then those are not charitable donations because you're getting something back for that, right? It's a quid pro quo. In other words, I pay you for something, you give me something. But anytime you donate to the IS or any of the other, organizations within the Church of Scientology, like the Way to Happiness campaign, you give them $1,000 to buy a bunch of books that they're going to give away to people, or anything like that, or if they're buying a new building and you're giving them money so they can purchase a new building, you're not getting anything back for that. Anything like that. If you just put money on your account, you're just putting money on the account, you're not applying it to anything. Well, that money is going to be maybe applied to something later, maybe not. Maybe you end up just giving it to them. You never know. I've done that. I had money on account and said, hey, just keep it. So that's a charitable donation. The only way that the IRS would take or exception with something like that is if you try to take as a charitable donation something that you got something back for it. Say you bought, a set of books, OEC volumes or something. I don't know what the going rate is, but let's say it's $2,000. Well, that's not a charitable donation. You got a bunch of books for it, okay? So if you buy a block of auditing, whatever price that is, $12,000, $20,000, whatever you quote unquote donate for the block of auditing, that's not a charitable donation. You're getting something back for that. You're getting a block of auditing. Now, if you don't use all of it, whatever you don't use, and if you want to give it away, then fine. Or if you give it to somebody else to use for them, then that's a charitable donation. If you give somebody money up to $19,000 in 2026, that's a donation. The person that buys that you give the money to doesn't have to claim it, and you don't have to claim it as a charitable donation. Only when it goes over that amount do you want to fill out a form that says, "Hey, I gave this guy this amount of money," and then you can start the deduction process. Now, there's limits to how much they're going to give you. Like, let's say you make $100,000 and you donate $100,000. Well, they're only going to let you use $60,000 because there's a 60% limit, okay, that they'll give you for charitable donations. Now, you can take the other 40 and carry it forward for the next 5 years, 4 years. So if you don't use all of your charitable donations in 1 year, just keep a running record of it and use it for the next few years until you've used all of it, up to 5 years. And that's all I can think of now. Like I said, the only way that I can see that any kind of rumor like that got started is because somebody tried to, they got denied because it was a quid pro quo transaction as opposed to a straight donation. Any straight donation, like I said, to the IS, any other charitable organization within the Church of Scientology, or any church for that matter, is going to be a charitable donation. If you're doing tithing, if you're giving a certain amount of money every month, that's a charitable donation. Okay, if you got any other questions about that, let me know. I think other questions that might come up might be like, what if I, buy some WISE courses from a consultant? that's a business expense. Okay, it's not necessarily a charitable donation. It's a business expense. Okay, so if you go to some wise guy for business training, then that's a business expense. If you're a corporation or an LLC, Chapter S, or anything like that, or bigger, LLC, Chapter S, Chapter C, whatever whatever type of company setup you have, if you donate as a business, then that's going to be 100% deductible. Okay, so that's all I can think of. And one more thing. You're going to get a receipt. And I know from the Church of Scientology, it can be several pages because people are doing courses and stuff all year. And you're going to get, it's going to break down exactly what is a charitable donation and what isn't. So you have a record of it. So if anything gets challenged from the IRS or from anybody, you have this, receipt that says, hey, this is the agreement. This is what's true. Got it in black and white. Can't argue with it. Also, like anybody else that you donate to, even, Baptist churches, whatever kind of church, they're all going to give you a receipt of some kind that says how much you donated. Okay, so that's your record, and you want to keep those records. When people send them to me, and I've done many religious donations on people's tax returns. Nobody's ever got audited by any return that I've ever done. So, for religious donations. So, it's pretty simple how they do it. So if you got any questions on that at all, and you want to know how to handle your religious donations or your business transactions where you're getting training, even if it's from a pastor or from a priest or from anybody in the Church of Scientology or a wise member, then let me know if you got any questions on that. I can handle it for you. My number is 503-705-1521. It's my business line. And you can email me at maxinman@gmail.com, MAXINMAN @gmail. Let me know.